Hey everyone, we've updated our channel name from Chinese Novel Audio Wave to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Nothing else will be changing. We're still uploading a new video every day, bringing you the best Chinese novel audiobooks. Let's dive into today's story. Chapter 21. The Axe Emperor, Kaya's Crisis, possesses the intelligence of a Ben Beckman. However, according to Rosen, his behavior does not seem to be so intelligent. Or, his vision is not enough, so it limits his idea of earning wealth. Guion rested his chin on one hand, looking at the copy of the diary with interest. In her hand, there is also a reward order of hundreds of clo. This is what she asked for from the marine soldier while looking at the copy of the diary. Originally, Guion didn't care much about Crow. But when Rosen mentioned King Axe, Guion changed his mind. Since Crow can hypnosis Axe King, then Crow may also have a strong strength. This was what Guion had in mind. And after seeing Rosen go so far as to compare Crow to Ben Beckman of the Red Hair Pirates, Guion took a look at Crocodile even more. At this moment, her purpose of going to East Blue was not just to find Rosen. In addition to Rosen, King Axe, Chloe, and even the red-haired daughter are also on her list of searches. This man Rosen, why can't he speak thoroughly every time? Where did this Crow go to seek wealth? The Emperor Axe, who is it? Even Yuta just knew she was in the music capital. Whether it is still here or not is still unknown. Writing a diary, shouldn't everything be written clearly? Guion sighed, and the resentment towards Rosen increased in his heart. On the other side, Xiluobu village. It took 3 years to gain trust and acquire wealth. Single quote. Is this referring to Krabart? Single quote. Kaya's beautiful eyes were wide open, and she quietly glanced at the butler Krabart not far away. She thought about it, if she wanted to say something that could correspond to what Rosen said about Captain Crow. Then there was only her butler, Krabart. No, how could Krabart be Captain Crow? Single quote. Rosen must have been talking about someone else. Single quote. Kaya shook her head, and continued to bury her head in the medical book in front of Crow's puzzled eyes. Speaking of which, apart from his wisdom, this Captain Crow has 2 talents in combat. Closing square bracket. The skill, spoon, developed by myself is comparable to the shave, in Marine 6 styles in terms of speed. Closing square bracket. No wonder this guy has been in the East Blue for so many years. Closing square bracket. It's a pity that the spoon has a fatal flaw. Once this guy uses the spoon, he can't tell the target of the attack. Closing square bracket. As a result, every time this guy wants to use the spoon, he can only dismiss his companions and fight alone. Closing square bracket. I don't know if this guy will become more powerful as a pirate in the future. Closing square bracket. Should be, although this guy is now retired, he has never forgotten to fight. Closing square bracket. His habit of pushing his glasses with the palm of his hand, which he acquired because his weapon was a glove with 10 blades, continued even after his retirement. Closing square bracket. This shows that he still has the consciousness of fighting. The way to push the glasses. Single quote. Kaya blinked, and turned to look at the butler Krabart. At this time, Krabart was pushing the glasses with his palm. It is true, Kaya exclaimed. What's the matter, Miss Kaya? Is there something wrong with me? Krabart pushed his glasses again with his palm and asked strangely. Nothing. Kaya shook her head hastily. When Krabart saw Kaya's condition, he immediately frowned. Miss Kaya, your situation is not right today. Maybe you are too tired. Stop reading medical books today. Krabart closed the window, then went to Kaya and collected the medical books. Kaya shouldn't have been surprised by such an action that often happened before. But after reading Rosen's diary, facing Krabart again, she curled up somewhat instinctively. Miss Kaya, I put the medical book on the desk for you. Take a break today. Tomorrow, I will take care of you again. Krabart frowned slightly and glanced at Kaya, then stood up and walked to the gate and spoke to him. Wait, Krabart, I have something to ask you. Kaya didn't want to believe that Krabart, who had taken care of her for many years, was Captain Crow, who was seeking his own wealth, so she hurriedly wanted to stop Krabart to ask for clarification. "What's the matter? Is there anything else I can order, Miss Kaya?" Clarabart asked suspiciously. Kaya pursed her lips, subconsciously glanced at the copy of the diary. Captain Crow, maybe he should be called Krabart now. Closing square bracket. Hope Miss Kaya doesn't ask about Clarabart's habit of pushing glasses with her palm. Closing square bracket. That guy should be very sensitive to this issue. Closing square bracket. Kaya is really a poor little girl too. Closing square bracket. Fortunately, there is more than just a housekeeper like Captain Crow by her side. Closing square bracket. The other housekeeper, Mei Li, really cares about Kaya. Closing square bracket. Captain Crow is really cruel. When he implements the plan in the future, he will kill his colleague Mei Li, who has worked with him for many years without hesitation. Closing square bracket. Also crushed the brand new glasses that Kaya was going to give him as a gift. Closing square bracket. As a pirate, this guy is thorough enough, he just has no heart at all. Closing square bracket. Chapter 22. The possibility of letting Kaya be a model. Please ask for some data, thank you. Rosen, he said the name of Krabart. Single quote. Klarbart also beheaded Mei Li. Single quote. How did Rosen know that I was going to send Krabart a brand new pair of glasses? Single quote. No, how could this be the case? Single quote. How could this be so? Single quote. Kaya's pupils trembled, her face full of disbelief. Miss Kaya, do you have any orders? Krabart frowned slightly, and asked suspiciously. It's nothing, take a good rest today, Krabart. I'm not feeling well, please close the door. Kaya shook her head and said quickly. Crow gave Kaya a strange look, but didn't say much, and turned around to close the door for Kaya. Kaya took a few deep breaths, looked at the closed door, and then looked at the 3 messages on the copy of the diary. Image, Captain Crow stomping on broken glasses present. Closing square bracket. Image, reflection of Chloe chopping Mary. Closing square bracket. Image, Kaya sleeping soundly and Crow with bloody fingers. Closing square bracket. Kaya tremblingly clicked on the picture with her consciousness. A second later, Kaya suddenly covered her lips with both hands, and her whole body began to tremble violently. Although Rosen is a picture in the intercepted animation, the characters are different from Kaya, Crow and others in the real world. But Kaya still recognized herself, Chloe and Mei Li from the images and clothes of the characters in the picture. How can this be? Clarabart is Captain Crow. Single quote. Will he kill Mei Li in the future, and will he kill me? Single quote. But I obviously respect him so much. Single quote. Is the so-called wealth really that important? Single quote. At this moment, Kaya couldn't help sobbing in a low voice. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, a knock on the door suddenly sounded. Kaya's body trembled, and she looked towards the door with some horror. Miss Kaya, I heard from Clark that you are not feeling well. I just made some ginger soup, why don't you drink some? Outside the door, an extremely gentle voice came. Yes, it's Mei Li, come in. Kaya breathed a sigh of relief and spoke immediately. Squeak. With the sound of pushing the door, Mei Li, who was wearing a black suit and had a gentle smile on her face, walked in. Kaya looked at Mei Li, and involuntarily thought of the picture, Chloe's reflection of Mei Li, uploaded by Rosen. For a moment, her body trembled again. Is it cold, Miss Mei Li? Come on, drink this ginger soup quickly. As soon as Mei Li closed the door, she hurried over to Kaya as if she was suffering. Kaya didn't raise her head immediately, but subconsciously opened the copy of the diary. Rosen told her the true identity of Krabart, which made Kaya subconsciously want to seek the current solution from Rosen. Kaya is also one of the heroines of my photo and book. Closing square bracket. In any case, you can't watch Captain Crow's actions and do nothing. Closing square bracket. Just now I met the Black Cat pirates, let's go to Kaya. Closing square bracket. If Kaya has any difficulties at that time, I can also help. Closing square bracket. This can be regarded as paying her for being my model, hehe. Closing square bracket. No, I just drew Kaya's photos and notebooks with the image and Kaya's manga and animation. Closing square bracket. It shouldn't be considered that she has served as my model. Closing square bracket. Or, after helping her, let her be my model once. Closing square bracket. Who wants to be your model? Kaya opened her eyes wide and subconsciously called out. In the book, there are quite a lot of peachy scenes. Kaya felt that if she really wanted to be Rosen's model for the last time, she might make those romantic scenes in the book come true. However, although Rosen's diary makes Kaya feel shy, but it also calmed down her somewhat chaotic and tense emotions. Model? What model? Mei Li tilted her head and asked with some doubts. It's nothing, you heard me wrong, Mary. However, I clearly heard Miss Kaya talking about models before. Actually, I think it would be interesting to be a model. I see. Ms. Kaya wants to experience the life of a model. With your beauty, Ms. Kaya, you will definitely become the most beautiful model. Thank you for your compliment, Mei Li. Do I need to arrange that, Ms. Kaya? No, I don't need it for now, let's talk about it later when I have time. Kaya shook her head again and again, looking at Mei Li who cared about her very much. Kaya finally calmed down completely. Be calm, don't panic. Single quote. Maybe Rosen just got it wrong. Single quote. Klarbart is not Captain Crow. Single quote. There is still some investigation to be done. Single quote. If Klarbart is really Captain Crow, I should not lose my cool. Single quote. Even if it's for Mei Li not to be hurt by Captain Crow, I have to calm down. Single quote. Also, even if Klarbart is really Captain Crow, Rosen will definitely come to help as he said in his diary. Single quote. Kaya thought to herself. Chapter 23 Gion gets in touch with Tashigi. Smoker acts as a tool. Is Rosen going to help? Is it out of justice, or just out of love for Kaya? No matter what, since Rosen is willing to take action, Crow, who is not arrested by Marine, can no longer kill people at sea. Unfortunately, this guy Rosen still hasn't revealed the addresses of Kaya and Crow. Gion shook his head and let out a long sigh. However, even if you don't tell me the specific address, it doesn't mean that I have nothing to do. Gion raised the corner of his mouth and said with a light smile. Now that Rosen has encountered the Black Cat pirates, and has the heart to help Kaya through the storm. Maybe after that, I will go directly to where Captain Crow and Kaya are on the pirate ship of the Black Cat pirates. In other words, as long as the pirate ship of the Black Cat pirates is found, it is possible to find Captain Crow and solve this hidden danger. Similarly, Rosen, the purpose of her trip, can also be found. After thinking for a while, Gion picked up the phone beside him and dialed a number. Soon, a thick male voice came from the opposite side of the phone bug. This is Smoker, what's up? This is Momoshige Gion, the connection is really fast. Colonel Smoker, haven't you rested yet? I was already resting, but I was woken up by my soldiers. What soldier can wake up you? The colonel stationed in Rog Town. It's my Captain Tashigi. Seriously, I was called Captain Chaklo in the big night. Hasn't that guy been caught long ago? Oh, yes. Gion raised his eyebrows, thinking about the diary that Rosen had written earlier. Gion immediately understood that the Tashigi that Smoker was talking about had the same copy of the diary as himself. Gion Vice Admiral, let's talk about you. Why are you calling so late? Is there something special? Smoker said to Gion while looking helplessly at Tashigi who looked very anxious opposite him. There are indeed some things. I need you to investigate Captain Crow. Gion laughed. Huh, why did you ask me to investigate Captain Crow? Could it be that the guy wasn't actually caught? Smoker frowned, and as he spoke, he glanced at Tashigi who was a little stunned by hearing Gion's words. Well, I got reliable news here. The Captain Crow who was caught at the beginning was a fake. The current Captain Crow is most likely lurking in the home of a wealthy businessman. Among the rich merchants there is a beautiful girl named Kaya. I need you to investigate if there is a girl named Kaya in a rich business in East Blue. Guion said. Hey, it's quite difficult to investigate with only one name, Guion Vice Admiral. Even wealthy businessmen, many of them are called Kaya. Also, Guion Vice Admiral, aren't you at Naval Headquarters? You also know so clearly about East Blue. Smoker twitched the corner of his mouth and spoke. Just got some information. Plus, I'm going to East Blue right now because of something. Let's not talk about this, let's talk about Captain Crow. Guion paused, then continued. If you feel that it is inconvenient to search only by Kaya's name, I'm giving you 2 leads. One is East Blue's Giant Tiger Pirates, and the other is East Blue's Black Cat Pirates. If your soldiers find these 2 pirate groups, let them quietly follow the pirate ship. Remember, don't conflict with the people of the pirate ship, especially a man named Rosen. Hearing this, Smoker immediately frowned. But before he asked Guion, Tashigi couldn't help but exclaimed. Rosen. Guion Vice Admiral, do you know Rosen? Smoker frowned, and glanced at Tashigi angrily. Why, you know him too. Tashigi nodded embarrassingly. Forget it, I know you. What does it mean to be acquainted? Explain clearly, Tashigi. Smoker frowned. Tashigi pursed his lips and buried his head. Of course she wanted to explain it to Smoker. However, the copy of the diary is restricting her, making it impossible for her to tell Smoker about Rosen. Okay, don't embarrass Tashigi, Smoker. The man Rosen, I asked Hina to tell Tashigi. You don't need to meddle in his affairs, you just need to know that he is very powerful. It's not something ordinary people can handle. Also, it's best not to treat him as an enemy. The purpose of my trip to East Blue is to find him and invite him to become Marine. Guion said with a light smile. Hina told you. Smoker raised an eyebrow and looked at Tashigi. Tashigi was a little stunned, but after Guion's affirmative voice came from the phone bug again, Tashigi also reacted and nodded repeatedly. Chapter 24 Guion intends to personally investigate the Inquat, King Axe. I always feel like you haven't told me something. Forget it, since you don't want to talk, I won't ask. Smoker shook his head, then turned to the phone bug again and said. Since it's Guion Vice Admiral's request, I'll do it. Afterwards, I will notify the colonels of the other branches of East Blue and let them look for the rich man named Kaya together. There are also ships of the Giant Tiger Pirates and the Black Cat Pirates. I'll let you know when there's news. Hearing this, Guion smiled and said. Thank you, Colonel Smoker. Also, Miss Tashigi and I need to talk about something. Can you hand her the phone bug so I can talk to her alone? Now that he knows that Tashigi has a copy of the diary, Guion naturally wants to communicate with Tashigi. By the way, also tell Tashigi that Hina and Ian have a copy of the diary. Can't you say it to my face? Smoker frowned. It's just a topic between some girls. If you are interested in Smoker, I don't care. Guion laughed. Cut. Hearing this, Smoker naturally had no interest in listening to the conversation between Guion and Tashigi. After he smacked his mouth, he handed the phone bug to Tashigi. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. And he himself walked out of his office on his own initiative. After a while, Tashigi confirmed that Smoker was gone, and said to the phone bug. Guion Vice Admiral, you have that too, right? Yes, I do have a copy of Rosen's diary. As expected. Great, you have Guion Vice Admiral too. Tashigi, did you say yes because you knew you weren't the only one who was drawn by Rosen? No, Guion Vice Admiral, I didn't mean that. Hee, don't be nervous, I'm just joking, Tashigi. It's because I have other things to talk to you about letting you hold the phone bug. Guion Vice Admiral, please tell me. Tashigi, I need you to remind Smoker according to the situation. Don't let him take drastic actions, understand? I see. Tashigi nodded heavily and spoke. Later, Guion had some exchanges with Tashigi about the diary copy and Rosen. Tell her some points that need Tashigi's attention. At the end, when the call is about to end, Tashigi asked hesitantly. Guion Vice Admiral, about the Axe King, that Rosen mentioned. Should I investigate, or should I secretly remind Smoker to take me to investigate? Hearing this, Gion immediately replied. No need, Tashigi. I will investigate the matter about ex-Emperor myself. Since he can cut Vice Admiral Garp, his strength cannot be handled by Commons Marine. Even you or Colonel Smoker. Smoker is taking things too seriously. If he knew about this matter, he would definitely investigate it. Even, he may temporarily put aside the investigation of the Juhu pirates and the Black Cat pirates' pirate ships. Now, let him focus on investigating the pirate ships of the two pirate groups, identifying Rosen, or determining the location of Kaya. When Tashigi heard this, thinking of Smoker's character, he immediately agreed with Gion's statement. If Smoker really knew about the existence of such a dangerous ex-king, he would not let it go. I see, Gion Vice Admiral. I will do as you ask. Tashigi took a deep breath and nodded seriously. While Tashigi was on the phone with Gion. On the other side, on the pirate ship of the Black Cat pirates. It seems that if nothing unexpected happens, Karina has no way to rely on her own strength to escape from the hands of the Black Cat pirates. This is probably the butterfly reaction that I caused after I came to this world. Rosen shut down his voyage diary system after taking a photo of Karina being tried by a group of Black Cat pirates with a copy of the diary, and even planning to be put in a wooden barrel. Now, he was standing on top of the sail of the Black Cat pirates, not attracting anyone's attention. Any last words, beautiful Miss Karina? If there is no last word, I will put you in this wooden barrel. The current captain of the Black Cat pirates, Zhang Gao, patted the wooden barrel beside him, and said to Karina in front of him amidst the booing of the crew of the Black Cat pirates. Although Zhang Gao in the future may be a good marine, but right now, he's still a pure pirate. He can easily do things like putting people in wooden barrels and sinking them into the bottom of the sea. Chapter 25 Rosen comes to the rescue. Karina thinks about possible ways to calm Rosen down, seeking. Captain Zhang Gao, we are also old acquaintances. Can you stop saying such scary things? Karina smiled embarrassingly, and said to Zhang Gao. At this moment, she regretted leaving Rosen's side even more. At least, by Rosen's side, she will not face being put into a barrel like she is now. Old acquaintance. Yes, we are indeed old acquaintances. It's a pity that we are not old acquaintances with friendship. Karina, don't waste your time talking. You should know we are pirates. In this case, then you should know the fate of betraying us. This time, I won't be deceived by you. However, it's not that I can't give you favors. If you're scared, I can hypnosis you, let you be sunk to the bottom of the sea without fear. Zhang Gao took out his hypnosis ring and said to Karina indifferently. Seeing this scene, Karina's heart instantly twisted together. She does know, Zhang Gao possesses an extremely excellent hypnosis ability. If he really gave her hypnosis, she would really have no chance of surviving. She may not even understand how to die. Wait, Captain Zhang Gao, give me another chance. Karina frantically begged for mercy. I won't give it. Come on, look at my ring, count down to 3, 3, 2. Zhang Gao began to swing the hypnosis ring in his hand. Although Karina wanted to avoid her eyes, the pirates of the Black Cat pirates directly next to her directly compared the knife to her neck, making her dare not close her eyes. It's over. Single quote. Seeing the end of the Zhang Gao hypnosis, Karina's face was already covered with despair. At this moment, an extremely familiar voice that Karina didn't want to hear before suddenly sounded. Of course, for Karina at this time, this voice is tantamount to the sound of nature. Need help, Karina. The voice just fell. Karina immediately felt that the pirate next to her with a knife on her neck suddenly turned into a shooting star and hit the side of the ship directly. It was so powerful that it directly smashed the side of the ship, causing the pirates to fall directly into the sea. R.O. Rosen. Karina turned her head in surprise. That's right, it's me. Need help, Karina. After all, these pirates don't seem to be friendly to you. The corner of Rosen's mouth twitched, and he looked at Karina with a snot and tears in front of him with interest. Yes. Rosen, please, help me. I will never run away again. Karina hugged Rosen's thigh with both hands forward, for fear that Rosen would disappear before her eyes. You woman, don't wipe all the saliva and tears on me. Forget it, let's talk about your business later. Now I have to deal with other pirates. Rosen tapped Karina's small head and spoke. At this time, Zhangao and the others had also reacted, and they all looked at Rosen, the unexpected guest, with gloomy faces. Boy, you did the worst thing possible. Although I don't know where you came from. But you're dead. Pirate Booge snarled, jumped up and rushed towards Rosen. Seeing this, Rosen's eyes froze, and the sharp blade in his hand quickly came out of the body and flashed a cold light in the air. In an instant, Bug's eyes froze in the air, and his body was broken in two for no reason. A large amount of blood spilled from the air, dripping on the nearby pirates. Karina stared blankly at this scene. Although I have already seen how powerful Rosen is. But she was still quite surprised to see Bug, who could easily take her away, be killed by Rosen in an instant. Thinking of how she slipped away from such a man for no reason before, Karina couldn't help feeling worried. What to do? Wait until after the Black Cat pirates are resolved. Single quote. He won't really punish me severely. Single quote. Karina gritted her teeth, her face full of worry. After calming down a little at this moment, she also understood one thing. Since Rosen was able to find here, maybe she never really slipped away from the start. All her actions may be within the scope of Rosen's observation. Karina thought of this, and quickly opened the copy of the diary. Soon, Rosen's latest diary records appeared before her eyes. Sure enough, he knew all along. Single quote. It's really over now. Single quote. Karina looked at the content and photos about herself in the copy of the diary, and couldn't help but smile bitterly. But at the same time, Karina also began to think about the possibility of making Rosen forgive herself. Could it be that Rosen is going to be calmed down like the one described in the book? Single quote. Karina thought, blushing. Chapter 26 The Possibility of Kaya's Body Promise. Karina still wants the power of Ye Shenzi. Breath of the Sun Dragon of the Sun Halo Head Dance. A low groan. Rosen's figure wielding a long knife turned into a spinning fire dragon and swept across various places on the deck of the Black Cat pirates. Those pirates who attacked Rosen because of Bug's death were instantly shrouded in scorching flames and lost their lives in an instant. Not only that, after beheading the pirate who attacked him, Rosen did not stop the sword form of the Breath of the Sun. The figure that looked like a fire dragon continued to pass by most of the pirates who did not approach. In just a few seconds, only a few pirates including Zhangao were left on the deck of the Black Cat pirates. It's not like Rosen is letting himself go. Only after experiencing all the beheading of the giant tiger pirates. Rosen felt that if he wanted to hurry on his way as soon as possible, still need to leave a few coolies to work. Just relying on a Karina is not enough. In addition, keeping Zhangao, there is also the idea that Rosen intends to use him to know how far the plot has progressed. If Captain Crow of Sarab village has already contacted Zhangao by phone, that may prove that the plot of the pirates has entered the main line, and the protagonist Luffy has already gone to sea from the Windmill village. Of course, keeping Zhangao is not just to confirm the plot. Rosen also intends to let Kaya know the true face of Krabart beside her through Zhangao. Photo. Breath of the Sun Dragon of the Sun Halo Head Dance. Cut the Black Cat. Closing square bracket. Sure enough, for me now, East Blue's pirate group is still too weak. Closing square bracket. These guys didn't even need me to use the sword type of the Breath of the Sun. Closing square bracket. However, in order to frighten the rest of the pirates so that they don't stop working for me, let's use a trick called Sunbreath Sun Halo Dragon Head Dance, to let them experience my strength. Closing square bracket. I hope this Captain Zhangao can also understand the seriousness and help me let Kaya know the true face of Captain Crow. Closing square bracket. In that way, maybe in the future he will still have a chance to successfully transform from a pirate like in the original book. Closing square bracket. Otherwise, we can only send him and his partner to another world. Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, I don't know if I help Kaya with such enthusiasm, will it touch her? Closing square bracket. If she plans to make a promise with her body at that time, what should I do? Closing square bracket. After all, she is different from Karina. Karina is a cunning woman who doesn't necessarily know how to repay her kindness. Closing square bracket. But Kaya, she should be a girl who knows how to repay her kindness. Closing square bracket. Hey, who wants to make a promise with your body? Kaya spat secretly, her face turned red again. Of course, Kaya didn't just blush because of Rosen's teasing words. Likewise, Kaya was touched by the fact that someone cared about their own safety. I remember Kaya as a girl who likes medicine. Closing square bracket. If you want to go to sea, the ship's doctor is essential. Closing square bracket. Or try to make her my ship's doctor. Closing square bracket. Karina is a little cunning, although she is quite suitable for the power of Yae Kamiko. Closing square bracket. But she can't be a partner, and there's no way to give her the power of Yae Kamito. Closing square bracket. But Kaya, if Kaya can become my ship's doctor, the power of Yae Miko may be given to her to use. Closing square bracket. The premise is that she is used to this power enough. Closing square bracket. If she can successfully adapt to this power. Closing square bracket. The bloodline and talent possessed by Yae Shenzi may be able to directly cure her disease. Closing square bracket. What? Do you want to hand over the power of Yae Shenzi to that me? Single quote. However, and it can even directly cure my illness. Single quote. Is this real? Single quote. Kaya was already lying on the boat, but the contents of Rosen's diary made her sit up directly from the bed. All along, she has been troubled by her own disease. All along, she hopes to get a healthy body so that she can travel to the sea by herself. And Rosen said now that not only did she intend to give her the power of the Yae Shenzi to cure her disease, but she also had the idea of taking her to sea. How can this not make Kaya feel yearning? For no reason, Kaya already had some thoughts in her heart that she wanted to see Rosen sooner. On board the Black Cat Pirates. Karina stared blankly at the new content on the copy of the diary. It never occurred to her that she hadn't thought of an idea to calm Rosen down. Rosen has a plan to hand over the power of Yae Kamito to others. Although she had previously given up the opportunity to obtain the Yae Shenzi template. But seeing that Rosen is so straightforward, he intends to hand it over to someone else. Karina still felt uncomfortable for no reason. That's right, it's such a powerful force after all. Single quote. Rosen will naturally want to hand it over to someone else. Single quote. Karina shook her head and let out a long sigh inwardly. By the way, let Rosen calm down. Single quote. As long as I really want to join Rosen's team and work for him for a while. Single quote. He will be willing to forgive me. Single quote. Moreover, maybe you can also give me the power of Yae Shenzi. Single quote. Thinking of this, Karina's eyes immediately turned to Rosen, who was negotiating with Zango. Chapter 27. Crow has contacted Zango, Karina's way of repaying, seeking data. Zango of the Black Cat Pirates, right? Rosen stood still in front of Zango, and said to him indifferently. Yes, I am Zango. Zango landed on his buttocks, looking at Rosen in horror. Do you know why I didn't kill you? No, I don't know. I need some people to help me steer the boat. Ming, understand. Where are you going? Sir, I will lead other people to send you there. Very well, I like to chat with smart people, don't waste my tongue. You, as long as you are satisfied. But I don't know where you plan to go, sir. Well, let me ask you, the former captain of the Black Cat Pirates, did Crow contact you to go to Sarab village recently? Why do you ask that? Captain Crow has been arrested. Think clearly before speaking. Zango, don't make fun of your own life. Rosen frowned, and his eyes instantly turned cold. Zango swallowed, quickly changed the subject and said. Report, Captain Crow just contacted me today, saying that he asked me to go to Sarab village to execute the plan to seize the property of the wealthy businessman Kaya. Zango didn't know where Rosen learned about Crow. But his survival instinct made him confess to Crow immediately. At this moment, in his eyes, Rosen is a more terrifying existence than Crow. Rosen's extremely fast slash had already been equated by Zhang with Captain Crow's slash in his heart. Not only that, Rosen can effectively control the target of his attack when he slashes quickly, and he can also release scorching flames, which Captain Crow cannot do. Therefore, Zango regards Rosen as a more terrifying existence than Crow. In order to save his life, he didn't care that he might offend Crow by doing so. The plot, has it already begun? Single quote. Rosen frowned, and immediately asked Zango. Did I contact you today? Then let me ask you, how long will it take to reach Xiluobu village? Zhang wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, and replied tremblingly. With the current manpower, and if the navigator is still there, sailing at full speed, and without any accidents, it will probably take about 20 days. Half a month. If that's the case, then I'll give you half a month and take me to Xiluobu village. To Xiluobu village? What, is there a problem? No, dare not. It's just that our navigator was killed by you earlier, so. Speaking of this, Zhang no longer dared to continue. In that case, how about I temporarily serve as the navigator? I guarantee that it will take only half a month to reach Xiluobu village. At this time, Karina walked over with a firm face. Oh, and Karina. With Karina here, we will be able to reach Xiluobu village more quickly. Zhang said excitedly as if he saw a life-saving straw. He has seen Karina's navigation skills. That is a level of navigation that is one level higher than that of my own navigator. With her here, it is no problem to shorten the sailing time by a few days. Okay, I'll give you a place. You go there and move things from a pirate ship to this ship. I'll have a private chat with Karina. Rosen waved Zhang, told him the coordinates of the pirate ship of the giant tiger pirates, and then led Karina to the stern of the ship. Sorry, Rosen, I shouldn't have slipped away. Before Rosen could speak, Karina bowed deeply to Rosen first, and said apologetically. Now, she was really worried that Rosen would punish her. Let's not talk about slipping away. Karina, let's talk about how much your life is worth. Rosen folded her hands, leaned against the edge of the boat and said with a chuckle. My life. Karina was startled, just when she thought Rosen was trying to kill her. Rosen raised 2 fingers at her. Karina, it's not beyond my understanding that you don't want to follow me. After all, people have their own aspirations, and twisted melons are not sweet. But, I saved you twice, it's true. Tell me, how do you think you should thank me? Rosen laughed. It turns out that I want to thank him. Single quote. Karina breathed a sigh of relief, and a smile appeared on her face. She took a step forward, pressed her chest tightly in front of Rosen, and stretched out a hand to draw circles through the clothes in front of Rosen. Then, Captain Rosen, how do you want me to thank you? Stop it, it's better not to call me the captain. After all, you don't really plan to join me. Then how about I sincerely join you now? Huh, are you planning to join me sincerely? That's right, I can work for you. Since you saved me twice, then I will work for you for 5 years. No, 10 years, how about it? Speaking of this, Karina looked more serious than ever. Chapter 28 Karina finally becomes a maid and integrates the power of Ye Kamito, seeking evaluation. After being captured by the Black Cat pirates and finally being rescued by Rosen, Karina understands that maybe her every move is in the eyes of the mysterious Rosen. And if he wanted to lie, Rosen seemed to be able to tell. That being the case, it's better to agree to a time limit to work with Rosen. In this way, she can repay Rosen's kindness. Perhaps, it can also satisfy Rosen. As for saying that she will always work by Rosen's side, Karina never dared to say that to Rosen again. After all, after working for 10 years, Karina can still guarantee that she can fulfill the agreement. But working for a lifetime or something, Karina has no idea of. working with Rosen for a lifetime. Of course, Karina also hopes that Rosen can pay her a certain amount of money for the past 10 years. And the best reward is naturally the power of the Ye Shenzi that Rosen planned to give him. Hey, 10 years. This is really interesting. Rosen raised his eyebrows and looked at Karina in surprise. That's right. Rosen, didn't you say you wanted me to be a maid for the time being? I am still young now, even if 10 years have passed, my youth is still there. How about it? Don't you want to have a beautiful, lovely and potential maid for 10 years? The corner of Karina's mouth raised, and she intentionally gave Rosen a wink. I have to say that Karina is just like the nickname Nami gave her. Her winking eyes really carried the meaning of a vixen. Interesting, then I can ask, how far can you, a maid, do it? I know that some maids can do anything for their masters. Even having a baby or something is fine. Rosen reached out and gently lifted Karina's chin, asking with interest. Astringent things are not allowed. However, it's still okay to serve you tea and water. Karina blushed, a little afraid to look into Rosen's eyes. So tight. What more do you want, Rosen? As for the maid, even if you don't want to shiver, it's okay to help the master tidy up the room, put in the bath water, or even wipe your back. Is this really just a back rub? If you can go further, of course it is the best. You'd better not take a step closer, but if it's just to the extent of rubbing your back, it's okay. Very well, you're hired, Karina. For the next 10 years, it's up to you. Rosen patted Karina's shoulder vigorously with both hands, and said with a smile. 10 years is a long enough time. With so much time, anything can happen. Maybe Karina got used to being around Rosen because of it. Not to mention, as long as she stays by his side, Karina will be remembered by Marine and world government when she was in the pirate operation with him. At that time, Karina may also be more reluctant to leave Rosen for her own safety. 10 years is enough. The template of Ye Shenzi can already be used on Karina. Single quote. It means that this woman is serious this time. Single quote. Forget it, let's give her the power of Ye Shenzi for the time being. Single quote. In this way, I have one more helper. Single quote. Even after 10 years have passed, she still wants to leave. At that time, I was already strong enough to have a template for Ye Shenzi. Single quote. Besides, the template of Ye Shenzi can also be taken back, haha. Single quote. Thinking of this, Rosen patted Karina's shoulder again. Karina, since you are already my maid, then work hard for me. I won't say much about what you slipped away before. Later, you can go and instruct Zhangao and the others to march towards Xiluobu village. When your hands are empty, come and help me wipe my back. After Rosen finished speaking, he raised his eyebrows at Karina deliberately. That's why, now I can continue to call you Captain Rosen. It's natural, then I'm relieved, but the maid should not have to work as a navigator, Captain Rosen. Why, you want me to add money? As expected of Captain Rosen, you can guess my mind, hee. However, the job of a maid is to help the master solve any troubles. The problem of navigation is also one of the troubles of the master. As expected of Captain Rosen, to be able to say such things for granted, it seems that I will definitely be squeezed out of labor in the future. Hee, don't worry, I treat my own people very kindly. Take it, Karina, this is my reward for your willingness to work for me sincerely. Rosen smiled and put a hand on Karina's shoulder. The next moment, Karina's whole body was surrounded by the shining purple thunder. Ding! Host, you have chosen to implant that Eightfold God Sun template, primary body, for Karina, and the implantation is starting. Chapter 29 The new function of the diary copy, the holder can also become stronger quickly. Seeking. Rumble, thunder and lightning flashed, and Purple's lightning formed a fox-like coat on Karina's body. Karina closed her eyes unconsciously, as if her entire soul was bathed in thunder. Although it was the violent energy of thunder, Karina couldn't feel any pain at this moment. Those thunderbolts seemed to be gently stroking her body. At the bow, Zhangao and the others who were working naturally also saw the lightning at the stern. For a while, they worked harder. Afraid of being hit by lightning, Karina quietly felt the power of thunder and lightning, and let the thunder transform her body. At this moment, Karina suddenly felt that the copy of the diary in her body began to tremble violently. Karina frowned, and quickly opened the copy of the diary to watch. Soon, her eyes widened. Congratulations, you have successfully obtained the power of the character template, your bloodline and potential will be updated, and the hidden function of the diary copy will be turned on. Closing square bracket. Hidden function. Single quote. Karina was startled, and quickly looked down. You can already use points to enter the state of overspeed learning. Entering this state, you will get a powerful boost whether you are learning knowledge or exercising strength. Closing square bracket. Each integral point can help you enter the super learning state for 10 minutes. Closing square bracket. You can also use points to directly strengthen your system. Closing square bracket. Each integral point can help you add a little system. Closing square bracket. Suggestion. The bloodline talent of Ye Shenzi have is extremely strong, and it is a waste of points to directly increase Dao power by consuming points. Closing square bracket. There is such a function. Single quote. I didn't expect that I could also gain power through the diary. Single quote. It seems that you have to get a character template before you can activate this function. Single quote. It is suggested that I strengthen myself without consuming points, so I should use super learning. Single quote. However, how can this point be obtained? Single quote. Karina raised her eyebrows, thinking to herself. Perhaps it sensed Karina's doubts. Immediately there was new content on her copy of the diary. Tips. Rosen's sailing diary. For every mention of your name, you will get 1 point. Every time you take a photo of you, you will get 5 points. Get 10x minutes points, and the recording time of the video is less than 1 minute to be corrected to 1 minute. Closing square bracket. Integral points are settled daily with Rosen's record diary. Closing square bracket. Currently your name has been mentioned 15 times in Rosen's nautical diary, you have been photographed 6 times by Rosen, and you have been photographed by Rosen for 5 seconds in video. Closing square bracket. Congratulations, your current job has accumulated 55 points. Closing square bracket. So that's the mechanism. Single quote. So, just ask Rosen to mention me more in his diary, take more photos of me and record more videos of me. Single quote. It seems that we have to find a way to get Rosen to mention me more in his diary, preferably by taking more photos and videos of me. Single quote. Karina thought of the usefulness of points. In an instant, he didn't feel that there was anything wrong with some shameful photos taken by Rosen earlier. On the contrary, she even thought that she could create more opportunities for Rosen to take photos and record videos later. With Rosen's character, just wear those maid clothes, swimsuits, black silk, white silk, sexy underwear, etc. according to the book he drew. Single quote. He should have taken pictures or recorded videos of me. Single quote. Wait, when did I get videotaped by Rosen? Single quote. Could it be that she has already recorded some shameful video while I wasn't paying attention? Single quote. Karina's face turned red when she thought of this. Fortunately, she quickly found Rosen's video of her through the copy of the diary, and it was not the shameful video she thought. What? It turned out that I happened to appear in the video of Rosen killing the giant tiger pirates earlier. Single quote. Karina breathed a sigh of relief and thought to herself. At the same time, Karina's eyes, which reopened and looked at Rosen, sparkled even more. Karina, aren't you surprised? You should be able to feel the changes in the strength in your body, right? Also, aren't you surprised by your growing fox ears and fox tail? The corner of Rosen's mouth turned up, and he raised his hand to touch Karina's fox ears. These are Karina's fox ears given by the Ye Miko template. If it was Ye Miko herself, Rosen felt that he would not be able to touch her ears or tail. But with Karina, it's different. Rosen didn't mind getting a good feel for how different Karina, who was a fox, was different from her normal self. Chapter 30. Karina, who has acquired the power of the Son of God, is full of charm, Captain Crow is. Naturally, Karina would not be too surprised by the power of Ye Kamito. After all, she had already known what Ye Shenzi's template was all about through her copy of the diary. But she knew that she couldn't tell Rosen, so she said with a smile. In terms of strength, I have already felt it very clearly. Fox ears and fox tail, I also noticed it when I gained power. Thank you, Captain Rosen. I really didn't expect that you still have such power. The fox's ears and tail are very sensitive. But since you gave me such power, then you can touch it as you like. But you have to hurry up. After all, maintaining the appearance of the fox ears and fox tail seems to make me continue to consume energy. After speaking, Karina gave Rosen another wink. Rosen had to lament that the original Karina was already charming enough. Now with the bonus of Ye Kamiko's beauty, Karina is going further and further in the direction of a vixen. Without hesitation, Rosen directly recorded Karina's winking gesture and sent it to the diary. Karina noticed this scene and was naturally quite happy. Sure enough, being attractive to Rosen was enough to make him want to take a photo or record a video. Single quote. Karina's eyes were fixed, and she became more determined to use her own charm to guide Rosen to take pictures and record videos. However, before she could start, Zhanggao's voice sounded from the side. That, Mr. Rosen, Miss Karina. We have arrived at the coordinates you specified. We have also found that pirate ship. Karina frowned when she heard this. Since we've arrived, let's go and move all the treasures to this ship first. Karina, you go too. After moving, remember to sink the ship of the giant tiger pirates. Rosen smiled and patted Karina's shoulder, then turned and walked towards the cabin of the Black Cat pirates. Seeing that the opportunity to take pictures was lost, Karina immediately gave Zhanggao an unhappy look. Zhanggao was glared at by Karina, and his body trembled for no reason. He couldn't understand why Karina, who looked very weak before, became so oppressive after adding fox ears and a fox tail. However, at this juncture, he didn't dare to ask any more questions. Only under the command of Karina, all the treasures of the giant tiger pirates were carried to the Black Cat pirates. In the end, Karina even sank the ship of the giant tiger pirates by summoning lightning in front of Zhanggao and others. This scene made Zhanggao and the others stare wide-eyed, not daring to look at Karina again. Zhanggao, change the course, we are going to Rossi Magnetic Town overnight. Karina held the nautical chart and said to Zhanggao. To Rossi Magnetic Town. But, didn't Mr. Rosen say he was going to West Robe? Zhanggao asked suspiciously. Hearing this, Karina, who had put away her fox ears and tail, shook her head and said. Naturally, West Robe Town is going. But you have to go to Rossi Magnetic Town first. Neither the ships of the Black Cat pirates nor the giant tiger pirates have enough supplies. If we don't go to the nearby Rossi town to replenish some supplies, we won't be able to reach Sarab town successfully. The route deviation between Rossi Magnetic Town and Sarab Township is not big, and we won't be delayed for too long. Half a month is enough for us to reach Sarab Town. When Zhanggao heard the words, he also reacted and sighed. As expected of Miss Karina, you are indeed very smart and excellent. No wonder Mr. Rosen has taken a fancy to you. Karina smiled slightly and said. Okay, Zhanggao, stop talking nonsense. Although Rosen is resting, I advise you not to think about resting. If I arrived late at Xiluobu village, I might not necessarily be the one in trouble. Hearing this, Zhanggao immediately became nervous. Understood, I understand. Zhanggao nodded. Well, Miss Karina, do you know what Mr. Rosen is going to do when he goes to Xiluobu village? Why, you want to know? Karina said with a slight smile, her mouth raised. Well, I want to know. Zhanggao nodded again. Hee, what if I said that Rosen lost the trouble of looking for your Captain Crow in Sarab village? After Karina finished speaking, she patted Zhanggao on the shoulder, and then walked away in Zhanggao's bewilderment. After Zhanggao stood there for a few seconds, his body shook violently. Sure enough, Rosen is going to trouble Captain Crow. With Rosen's power, and Karina's previous power to sink the pirate ship with lightning. Captain Crow, He has no chance of winning. Zhang Gao muttered to himself, praying in his heart that after they sent Rosen to Silib village, Rosen would not attack them. Chapter 31 Points can relieve pain. Kaya's gratitude, seeking data. West Rob Village. Photo. Karina after getting the Ye Miko template. Closing square bracket. This is, Karina has obtained the power of Ye Kamiko. Has Mr. Rosen still given this power to her? Great, Miss Karina is fine. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Kaya blinked and let out a long sigh of relief. In Kaya's view, since Rosen gave Karina the power of Ye Kamiko, it means that Rosen has forgiven Karina. Although Kaya felt sorry for not being able to obtain the power of Ye Kamiko, this did not prevent her from being happy for Karina. It's beautiful, Miss Karina. After Kaya carefully looked at Karina's photo at the moment, she couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Karina itself is very beautiful, even Kaya, who is a girl, recognizes this. And after Karina obtained the template of Ye Shenzi, Karina's beauty was magnified a bit. Looking at Karina's photo, Kaya felt ashamed. At this moment, there was new content on the copy of the diary. The diary dungeon points system has been activated, and the functions you want can be used. Closing square bracket. Congratulations, you were mentioned 13 times in Rosen's diary, accumulating a total of 13 points. Closing square bracket. Integral points can be used to enter the super learning state. In the super learning state, your learning and practice state will be strengthened. Huh, what is this? Kaya looked at the new content that appeared on the copy of the diary, and was not too busy resting, her eyes widened. And wait until she reads the contents of the copy of the diary. She was more and more surprised. No, isn't it? You can use points to directly strengthen your body. There is such a good thing. But why does the diary dungeon suddenly enable such a function? Wait, is it because Ms. Karina has obtained the power of the character template? Miss Karina got the template of Ye Miko, so she looked at the point rules, and even the rest of us started the point system. The more Kaya thought about it, the more it seemed possible. She looked at the points in her hand, and when she was excited, she decisively tried to use the 1 point she got to strengthen her system. Hey, it works. Kaya clenched her fists, her eyes sparkling. Although a little system does not make a person much stronger. But for Kaya, who is not very strong and suffers from illness, a little change in the system is also obvious. The most obvious change is that Kaya feels that the feeling of weakness that has been entangled in her body seems to be much smaller. Can the accumulated points directly reduce my pain? Unexpectedly, there is such a good thing. Although it is already dark now. But the appearance of points made her completely sleepless. 1 point of credit can help my ailment lessen. If all these points are used to strengthen the system, then, will my illness just disappear? Kaya swallowed, her whole body began to tremble with excitement. Excited, Kaya immediately used all the remaining points to strengthen the system. Although the integral points can be used to open the super practice state. But Kaya doesn't think how powerful she can cultivate through super learning with her own body and talent. Perhaps using super learning to study medicine may allow Kaya to acquire a lot of medical knowledge. But after experiencing the weakening of the pain caused by the strengthening of the system, Kaya now wants to go further and try to restore her body to a normal state. After a few seconds, the integral points are converted into system points. Kaya clearly felt her institutional strengthening. In just a moment, the weakness caused by the illness completely disappeared. Not only that, Kaya also felt that her strength seemed to have grown a lot. The most intuitive feeling is that Kaya saw with her own eyes that she easily lifted the desk above her head with one hand. Woo, that's great, that's really great. Thank you, Rosen. After Kaya put down the desk, she knelt down on the ground excitedly, tears kept falling from her bright eyes. After being tortured by illness for so many years, Kaya never imagined that there would be a day. In this way, I was able to obtain ordinary people, no, a healthier body than ordinary people. After all, there aren't many people in common who can lift the desk as easily as she does now. When you see Rosen, you must thank him well. Perhaps it would be good to go out to sea with him and have a look outside. Kaya turned her head to look at the bright moon by the window, her face gradually filled with longing. Kaya was unable to go to sea due to her frail body. But now, since he has obtained a stronger body than normal people, she naturally wanted to go to sea and see the outside world with her own eyes. Rosen will continue to earn points as long as she's mentioned, photographed, or videotaped in a copy of Rosen's diary. In order to make her body healthier, she can learn medical skills faster. All these things made Kaya naturally want to go outside with Rosen to see the world. However, we need to settle the matter with Krabart first. Kaya murmured. Chapter 32 Female Marines Who Want to Have Points. Nami's Strong Envy for Karina. Female Marine Exchange Group. What's this? Hina doesn't know, but since the invitation was sent by Guion Vice Admiral, she must know. Guion, I just did a little research and found that when there are enough friends in the diary copy, a related chat group can be established, so I pulled everyone in. Tashigi, Colonel Hina, Miss Ian, how are you all? Hina, Tashigi, are you there too? Aren't you serving as captain beside Smoker? Ian, I didn't expect Miss Tashigi to be here, so you are also the owner of the copy of the diary. Tashigi, yes, just before, I have added friends with Guion Vice Admiral. Guion, speaking of which, the copy of the diary is really convenient. Even if I had a phone call with Tashigi, I managed to add her as a friend. Speaking of which, in the communication group, everyone can add friends to each other. So Hina, Ian, and Tashigi, all three of you friend each other later. This thing is more convenient than imagined. Hina, it's really convenient, but Guion Vice Admiral, you probably didn't just come to us this time just to chat. Guion, of course. Hina, Ian, and Tashigi, you should have been reminded of the diary dungeon earlier. Hina, are you talking about the points? Unfortunately, Hina did not get the points, so there is no way to conduct experiments. Ian, I didn't get points, and Rosen didn't mention my name in the diary. Tashigi, I don't either. Guion, hey, is that really the case? What a pity. Although I clearly remember that Rosen didn't mention our names, I still want to check with you. Hina, damn man, when he mentioned drawing the book, he obviously mentioned so many women, but our names were summed up by the 4 words, wait. Guion, when he mentioned about marrying a wife, he also didn't mention us. Man Rosen, who clearly drew our notebook, doesn't he have the idea of marrying us as his wife? Hina, maybe it's because we are Marines, and Rosen wants to become a pirate, so he doesn't plan to marry us as wives. Ian, Colonel Hina, Guion Vice Admiral, how can you talk about this topic so easily? Hina, because Hina is very curious about points. Tashigi, but even so, the notebook and so on, and the wife and so on, are too embarrassing. Guion, after all, this involves points. Guys, I think you all understand that if the power of points is real, those who are paid special attention to by Rosen, those who are mentioned by Rosen many times will probably get a big bonus. This includes Nami, Yuta, Boa Hancock, and of course, Karina who stays with Rosen. Because that woman was by Rosen's side, Rosen not only named her in his diary many times, but also took many photos of her. Hina, leaving Nami aside, Yuta is the daughter of the red-haired Shanks, and Boa Hancock is the queen of pirates. If points play a big role, then Yuta and Boa Hancock may become a considerable uncontrollable factor. Of course, the same is true for Karina, who has obtained the Yae Miko template and seems to have become Rosen's partner. Guion, however, we have no basis for how much they can become stronger. After all, we don't have points to use for experiments. After Guion's message fell, there was a brief silence in the communication group. Insufficient intelligence, which is a pretty big flaw. It can also make people feel uneasy. At least. Now that there are no points to use, Guion, Hina and others feel a certain degree of uneasiness about the future. Guion, no matter what, for the sake of the peace of the sea, I will continue to look for Rosen, hoping to prevent the moment when he really becomes a pirate. Also, if Rosen mentions us in his diary later, we earn points. Everyone must use it with caution and record the experience after use. That will allow us to know how much other people have become stronger. Hina understands. Guion Vice Admiral, if you find Rosen, please also find an opportunity for him to take the initiative to mention our name. Ian, yes, it would be best if Rosen could take pictures of you, or even take a video of you. Guion, don't worry, I already have an idea about this. Since Rosen likes drawing notebooks so much, I'll show up in front of him wearing some clothes from the notebooks. Presumably this can stimulate his desire to take photos and record videos. Tashigi, do you want to do this to this extent? Guion, there is no other way. Speaking of which, Tashigi, you are also in East Blue. Why don't you and I go to find Rosen after I arrive in East Blue? That way, if we can find Rosen, we can both get pretty good points. In your notebook, there should be some dresses that Rosen likes. Tashigi, no. East Blue, ha. Nami snarled, and punched hard at the stone in front of him. Click. Hearing a crisp sound, Nami was surprised to find that he had smashed the hard stone in front of him with a punch. Useful. Using points to exchange for super practice time is more useful than directly using points to strengthen yourself. Nami looked at his unscathed fist and jumped up excitedly. You know, when she just got the points, she was just an ordinary girl who was better than ordinary people. But after using Rosen's points to become stronger, she found that she was even more powerful than the captains of some small pirate groups she had encountered. The pirate captains of those little pirate groups can't easily break a hard stone with bare hands. With my power now, can I defeat Arlong and the others? No, not far enough. However, if you can get more points, it will definitely be fine. Damn it, we must find Rosen. That way, the person who is mentioned the most times in the diary transcript, the person who is photographed multiple times won't be Karina the bitch. What's more, that female fox also got the template of Yae Miko. That guy, now, in order to let Rosen take pictures, he will take the initiative to dress sexy and sway in front of Rosen, right? Really, what an enviable woman. If you can get points, it's okay to let me dress like in the book. At most, I can charge less berry. Thinking of this, Nami has no intention of continuing to rest. They immediately started making preparations to go to sea again to find Rosen. At the same time, the many women who had copies of the diary had no desire to rest, as did Nami. Especially Nuauchigao, Boa Hancock, Yuta and others mentioned by Rosen in the copy of the diary. After confirming that the integral points can really have the power to make people stronger quickly. Even if they hate Rosen or like Rosen, at this moment, they all want to meet Rosen. It would be best if Rosen could shoot and record some videos for them more. Just when the girls were thinking this way, there was a new hint on the copy of the diary. Photo, Karina's maid dress. Closing square bracket. Damn, has this woman taken action yet? At this moment, all the girls had a common idea in their hearts. Chapter 33 Arriving in town, Karina scented berry, flowers for flowers. Rosen's voyage diary. Sea Circle calendar June 21, 1520, cloudy. Closing square bracket. After sailing at sea for a few days, it has been cloudy and rainy. Closing square bracket. I arrived on land today, and I encountered a good weather. Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, there is something that makes me sigh a little these days. Closing square bracket. Karina has changed a lot since she became a maid. Closing square bracket. Too diligent. Closing square bracket. Could it be that maids are like this? Closing square bracket. That's not the case, it's just that bitch wants to get points. When Nami saw the new message in the diary, she immediately roared and felt jealous again. No wonder Nami is like this. In the past few days, she has often seen Rosen mentioning Karina's name in his diary. And also took many made photos of various kakuzu for Karina. Even, in order to guide Rosen to take pictures, Karina will give Rosen some benefits from time to time. Photos of accidentally revealing snow-white thighs and career lines have appeared in copies of the diary. Of course, if that's all it is. Nami is not so angry. What really upset Nami was since Karina became Rosen's partner. Rosen's sailing diary is full of Karina's name. As for her Nami, she has not been mentioned once. Like Butsuma, Rosen seems to have forgotten that she exists. Points cannot be earned without being mentioned by name. Without earning points, there is no way to become stronger and stop the dragon pirates. Faced with such a result, how can Nami not be angry and jealous? Not just Nami. After Karina became Rosen's partner, except that Kaya Rosen would be mentioned a few times because of the Black Cat pirates from time to time. The rest of the women, such as Yuta and Boa Hancock, have not appeared in the copy of the diary for a long time. Such a result naturally made Yuta, Boa Hancock and other people who have enjoyed the benefits of points feel uncomfortable. This displeasure is directed not only at Karina, but also at Rosen. However, they have nothing to do until they find Rosen. Damn it, where is that bitch Karina going to take Rosen? It would be nice if Rosen could provide a place name. Nami muttered to himself while manipulating the shipwright. Hey, this is, the name of the place appeared. Suddenly, Nami exclaimed, her beautiful eyes widened to the maximum, and she looked at the copy of the diary in front of her in amazement. On it, Rosen clearly recorded the name of the place of arrival. Rosy Magnetown. Very well, here it is. Rosen, and Karina, you vixen. You all wait for me, I will come now. Nami's eyes were fixed, and she resolutely looked in the direction of Rosy Magnetic Town. Rosy Magnetic Town, spent a few days at sea, and finally arrived on land today. Closing square bracket. I originally wanted to reach Kaya quickly and save her from the fire. Closing square bracket. However, if there is no food on board, we have to go to the nearest town to replenish some resources. Closing square bracket. Hope my Miss Kaya doesn't wait too long for me. Closing square bracket. Seeing Rosen's message, Kaya couldn't help but draw a beautiful smile. At first, when Rosen said such ambiguous words, Kaya might not be used to it. But after experiencing the benefits of Rosen points and getting used to Rosen's words, Kaya gradually got used to what Rosen might call her. Even, I saw Rosen mentioning his name again. Kaya will also be quite happy. After all, in this way, at the time of daily settlement, she can get points again. Rosen shut down the voyage diary system, turned his head and said to Karina, Zhangao and the others. Karina, I'm going to walk around town. Go and take Zhangao and the others to buy the corresponding supplies. Zhangao, you probably won't run away. Hearing Rosen's words, Zhangao naturally nodded repeatedly. No, not running away, Mr. Rosen. Very well, I hope your partners will not run away, otherwise I will be very embarrassed. Don't worry, Mr. Rosen, I can hypnosis them so they won't run away. Hee, you are really thoughtful. Rosen smiled in satisfaction, and then, his eyes accidentally caught sight of the flag of the Black Cat pirates on the pole. Zhangao, take down the flag of your pirate group. I don't want to be mistaken for a member of the Black Cat pirates. Hearing this, Zhangao nodded again. For his own sake, he didn't dare to disobey Rosen in the slightest. Captain Rosen, don't you need me to go to town with you? Karina walked up to Rosen, pinched Rosen's arms skillfully between her chest, and said with a charming smile. Although I really want to go outside with my little vixen. But it's a pity, Zhangao and the others always need someone to watch. Rosen laughed. That's really a pity. If this is the case, then I will wait for your return, master. By the way, you can't hang around town without berry. Although there are not many berries, please take them with you, master. As Karina said, she stretched her hand from the slit of her jacket to her heart. And when she took out her hand again, there was already a thick stack of banknotes stained with fragrance and temperature in her palm. Chapter 34 Expose The reason why the redhead lost his arm. Yuta and Gion's surprise, ask for calm. Photo. Karina's heart out. Closing square bracket. Sometimes, I really don't understand the structure of a woman's body. Closing square bracket. Although women's pectoralis major is indeed bigger than men's. Closing square bracket. But how do they manage to stuff objects, especially those objects that are not small in size, between their hearts? Closing square bracket. Could it be that there is really a different dimension in the woman's place? Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, Karina took out a stack of berry from her heart, which is not bad. Closing square bracket. I remember Nami also being able to pull her trademark 3 short sticks out of her heart, don't know how she knows that. Closing square bracket. If you have a chance, you must study Nami's body structure. Closing square bracket. This guy finally mentioned my name. But it turned out to be because of something like this. I really don't know whether to be happy or angry. Nami pouted, looked at the 3-section stick tied to her thigh, then looked at the copy of the diary, and said with a cold snort. Want to explore my body structure? The fee is not low. That means Rosen is not here now. Otherwise, you have to ask how much Nami charges so that he can explore the mysteries of Nami's body. Thanks, Karina. Rosen took berry and sniffed it vigorously by his nose. It's troublesome, this berry is so fragrant, I'm a little reluctant to use it. Hee hee. Karina smiled when she heard the words, and actually took the initiative to weigh her chest with her arms in front of Rosen, and said, Captain Rosen, if you want a scent, you can come closer. Really? Then I'm not going to be polite. Rosen raised his eyebrows, raised his hand and reached out to Karina. Hee hee, just kidding. Karina's body turned into a lightning afterimage and flashed aside, smiling playfully at Rosen. Afterwards, he shouted Zangao and walked elsewhere. Rosen stared at the thunderbolt, Sakura, who stayed in place after Karina flashed for a few seconds, then jumped off the pirate ship with a thoughtful expression, and walked towards the inside of the town. Karina's progress is really fast, and now she is able to skillfully use Yae Miko's, killing Sakura. Closing square bracket. Even I always feel that she can use even the elemental explosion technique, the Mifatianyu Shenjun. Closing square bracket. Although the power will definitely be limited, and the physical strength will be exhausted after using it, but if you can use that trick, there will be no pirates in East Blue that will be her opponents. Closing square bracket. Karina, have you been able to use that move? East Blue's pirates are no match for her. In other words, Arlong won't be her opponent either. Looking at the contents of the diary, Nami felt envious again. Speaking of which, Garp's grandson Monkey D. Luffy, I don't know if this kid's rubber body can block the Yajinko version of lightning. Closing square bracket. If it can be stopped, Luffy will be a trouble for Karina. Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, the monkey family is really weird. The grandson of the marine hero is going to become a pirate. Closing square bracket. It's also because Garp got robbed. Who would have thought that Redhead Shanks would be willing to lose an arm to save Luffy? Closing square bracket. That boy Luffy was limped by the red-haired Shanks when he was a child, he is destined to become a pirate. Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, Luffy and Yuta are siblings, right? If I marry Yuta, will Luffy be my brother-in-law? Closing square bracket. Good guy, let this guy become a brother-in-law, it's enough. Closing square bracket. Question mark. Ain. Vice Admiral Garp's grandson is going to become a pirate, isn't it fake? Question mark. Hina. Since it was mentioned by Rosen, Hina thinks there should be nothing wrong with this matter. Tashigi. The grandson of the marine hero, 4 emperors as the guide, this Luffy, is too outrageous. Question mark. Hina. Being able to be spotted by the red hair, it should be said that he is the grandson of the marine hero. Let's hope Vice Admiral Garp can stop him. Question mark. Gion. I guess it will be difficult, after all Rosen said that Luffy can't be reversed. The guy with the red hair is so good at putting his arms around Garp's grandson. Mentioning this, Guion sighed in his heart. The world is very surprised that people like Shanks with red hair lose their arms in East Blue. Now, Guion knew the result that she could never have imagined. On the other hand, Yuta is also closely watching the copy of the diary. It turns out that Luffy's grandpa is Marine hero Garp. Single quote. No wonder Shanks said that Windmill Village had a very good sheriff. Single quote. He was talking about Garp. Single quote. Luffy's grandfather. I don't know if he and Luffy have the same personality. Single quote. However, Rosen is finally willing to mention me. Single quote. Yuta thought of what his grandpa might look like, and seeing his name appear on the copy of Rosen's diary, a nice smile could not help but be drawn on the corner of his mouth. Chapter 35 Exposing the Arlong Scam, the anger of Nami and Nuochigao sisters, seeking evaluation vote. By the way, although Karina is a thief, she is willing to give me berry. Closing square bracket. This is much better than Nami. Closing square bracket. That woman can no longer be described as treating money like her life. Closing square bracket. In her place, almost only Barry can enter, and Barry cannot exit. Closing square bracket. Although this is because she wants to save 100 million Barry and then redeem her village from those pirates. Closing square bracket. But this character is too special. Closing square bracket. HMPH, I am really sorry for being too greedy for money. Nami snorted coldly. Unlike Nami's anger, Karina was also secretly happy when she saw the contents of Rosen's diary. Being recognized by Rosen and surpassing Nami are the reasons for Karina's happiness. I really don't know how to evaluate Nami's character. Closing square bracket. It's okay if she saves enough 100 million berry to redeem the village. Closing square bracket. In the end, the bastard pirate who controlled her hometown just happened to be her. Closing square bracket. Even if she saves enough 100 million berry, there is no possibility of redeeming the village. Closing square bracket. That guy has long been in collusion with Marine. Closing square bracket. One day in the future, when she is about to save 100 million berry, Marine will go to Nami's house and forcibly take away the berry that Nami has stored for many years. Closing square bracket. That Nami guy. How could something like this still happen? It's a little bit too unlucky. Karina looked at Rosen's diary and frowned tightly. Although Karina and Nami have many moments of confrontation. But generally speaking, the two still have a considerable friendship. Therefore, seeing that Nami's future is in such a miserable state, Karina couldn't help feeling a little worried. However, since Rosen knows about Nami's future, you should also know where her hometown is. If Rosen can be guided to Nami's hometown, perhaps those who threaten Nami can be dealt with. Karina murmured. Ian, Marine shelters pirates. And it happened in East Blue. Tashigi, do you know something inside? Tashigi, I don't know. If I knew, I would definitely not let such a thing happen. Hina, indeed, if Tashigi knew, he would tell Smoker. With the character of the man Smoker, East Blue would never be allowed to have such a marine. This Rosen is half-spoken, can't it explain which marine is covering up the pirates? And the pirate group, what kind of pirate group is the pirate group that informed Nami's hometown? Guion, being able to cover pirates, this marine's position in East Blue is not low. I will also arrange for someone to conduct a certain investigation on this matter. Although Guion and others are unwilling to believe that Marine is sheltering pirates. But this is Rosen's diary after all. Guion and the others would rather believe it than let the Marine generals who are in league with the pirates exist. Meanwhile, the other side. Kokoja village. The home of Nami and Nokigao. Click. Damn, how could this happen? Is everything a hoax? Then what is Nami's hard work for so many years? Nuochigao accidentally crushed the teacup in his hand, and his whole body trembled unconsciously because of anger. No, Nami's hard work cannot be wasted. Whoever comes to rob Nami's treasure, I'm not even going to give it to him. With fixed eyes, Nuo Chigao walked towards the courtyard. There, buried treasure that Nami has hoarded over the years. Although no marine has appeared to take these treasures. But after reading Rosen's diary, Nuo Chigao just wanted to keep the written treasure from leaving his sight for a moment. If only Rosen could mention my name a few more times. In this case, I can rely on my own strength to fight against the evil dragon pirates. Nuo Chigao looked at the soil where the treasure was buried in the yard, and said quietly. She was mentioned by Rosen in the copy of the diary though. But it's only 2 times. This simply does not allow her to gain enough strength to fight against the dragon pirates. That man Rosen, I don't know if he will come to Kokoja village in the future. If he can come here. Despite everything, I have to make enough times for me to appear in his diary. The plot in the book, as long as it can be photographed and recorded, it doesn't matter if I play Nuo Chigao in the book. At this moment, Nuo Chigao's eyes shone with light. She who loves Nami deeply cannot allow Nami's years of hard work and years of grievances to go to waste. For Nami, Nuo Chigao has already made preparations to sacrifice herself. Not sure if Nami has a copy of the diary. If she sees Rosen's diary, she doesn't know how sad and angry she will be. Nuo Chigao muttered to herself. At the moment her heart was full of worries about Nami. Just as Nuo Chigao worried, Nami is in a state of extreme anger at the moment. Arlong has been lying to me. He's still in collusion with Marine. Fake, is everything I have done for so many years meaningless? Nami gritted his teeth, trembling with extreme anger. At this moment, she didn't even have the joy of being awarded points by Rosen's name in the diary many times. Anger had already filled her chest. Does it mean that I will stay in the Dragon Pirates forever? No, I don't want to do this. By the way, just find Rosen. As long as you find him, even if he doesn't want to deal with the Dragon Pirates, I can also get enough points through him to strengthen myself. At that time, even I can deal with the Dragon Pirates myself. Is it true that Rosen is magnetic? You wait, Rosen, I'm coming over now. Nami took a deep breath, speeding up the paddle again. Chapter 36 The New Character Template and Conquerors. Yuta is next door, seeking data. Ding! Congratulations, host, you have completed today's diary record and gained 102 points. So far you have accumulated a total of 601 points. Closing square bracket. Knock off. Rosen immediately stopped recording in the diary when he heard the prompt in his mind. Finally saved enough points. With 601 points, according to the rules of the Voyage Diary system, 1 intermediate lottery draw and 1 primary lottery draw are already available. Rosen muttered to himself, full of anticipation in his heart. No wonder. You must know that almost a week has passed since the last lottery draw. I have to say that it was fun to draw the lottery. But the period of accumulating points for the lucky draw is undoubtedly a torment for Rosen. Forget it, let's not wait for the advanced lottery draw. Let's do an intermediate lottery first. Ding! Start the lottery with the deduction of 500 points. The lottery draw is over. Congratulations to host for obtaining the Pikeman Servant Elizabeth Báthory template. Primary body. Using this template will be able to initially obtain the power, experience, talent, etc. of Lancer Elizabeth Báthory. Closing square bracket. Pikeman Elizabeth Báthory. Single quote. Could this be the little dragon girl in the Xingyu world? Single quote. Rosen thought about this, raised his eyebrows, and quickly opened the detailed introduction of the rewards he got. Soon, Rosen understood. It really is her, although it is considered a good character template. Single quote. However, the rewards for the intermediate lottery this time are of the same level as the rewards for the primary lottery last time. Single quote. Sure enough, it won't be a character explosion every time. Single quote. Rosen shook his head, sighed and looked at the remarks about Xiaolongyang. Remarks. To use the Lanceman Servant Elizabeth Báthory template, primary body requires the user to have at least 3 of the following attributes: female, dragon, lancer, idol, singing, nobility, etc. Closing square bracket. Host's current personal attributes do not meet the potential of using the Eightfold Godchild Template Primary Body. Closing square bracket. Suggestion: you can give this template to others. Closing square bracket. Sure enough, Xiaolongyang's character template is also not inferior to mine. Single quote. However, Xiaolongyang unexpectedly has the attribute of singing. Single quote. This is really, people don't know what to say. Single quote. Rosen couldn't help but twitch at the corners of his mouth when he thought of Xiaolongyang's singing skills rated as disaster level. Forget it, there are 100 points left, use it all at once. Single quote. System, give me a primary lottery draw. Single quote. Ding. Start the lottery with the deduction of 100 points from host. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the Primary Conqueror's Haki Awakening Potion. After taking it, you will initially awaken Conqueror's Haki. Closing square bracket. Hey, the primary lottery actually gave out Conqueror's Haki-related rewards. Am I considered the Emperor of Europe? Rosen raised his eyebrows, and looked at the extra test tube in his hand with some surprise. In the test tube, a dark red liquid can clearly be seen flowing. Without much hesitation, Rosen directly drank the potion in the bottle into his stomach. After a while, Rosen felt a domineering energy surge in his body. Rosen frowned, subconsciously releasing this energy. Boom! There was a bang. Invisible fluctuations centered on Rosen and spread out in all directions. Not long after, those common people who were closer to Rosen fell to the ground and passed out. Ah, this is really, such a thing happened by accident. Sure enough, it's Haki from Conquerors. It looks like we have to get out of here first. Rosen looked at a large crowd of people around him, smiled mischievously, and walked towards the restaurant at the end of the street. On the other side, a tavern hundreds of meters away from Rossi Magnetic Town. Time to go on stage, Yuta. The audience is waiting for you. The tavern owner said, after your singing is over. It will give us a lot of travel expenses. In the backstage of the tavern, Gordon walked up to Yuta and said to him with a gentle expression. Well, I see, Gordon. I'm going on stage. Yuta nodded slightly, took a deep breath and planned to walk past Gordon. At this moment, a domineering aura passed by, directly making Yuta stand in place. This feeling, Shanks. Yuta widened his eyes and said in disbelief. Boom! Just then, a sound woke Yuta up. She followed the sound and found that Gordon had fallen to the ground. Gordon, are you all right, Gordon? Yuta rushed forward and asked anxiously. Not soon enough, she discovered that Gordon had just passed out, and there was nothing serious about his body. Could it be Conqueror's Haki? Shanks really came. No, it feels a little different from Shanks. Yuta frowned, and after helping Gordon to lie down on the sofa, she walked away from the backstage to the bar lobby. Here, she really saw the bar owner, waiter and guests who had fallen into a coma like Gordon. What happened? Wait, isn't it Rosen? Yuta opened a pair of beautiful eyes, and immediately opened the copy of the diary. Chapter 37 Drinking a bottle of medicine can awaken conquerors. The girls were stunned, Seek B. Originally, today's reward has already been obtained, so I don't intend to continue to record the diary. Closing square bracket. But 2 prizes were drawn, so I had to record it. Closing square bracket. Rosen, is there another lottery draw? I don't know what it will be this time. Boa Hancock raised his eyebrows, and his eyes immediately focused a lot. Reward 1, Primary Conqueror's Haki Awakening Potion. Closing square bracket. As the name suggests, this thing awakened me directly to Conqueror's Haki. Closing square bracket. Then I accidentally stunned the people around me. I have to say, this reward is quite beyond my expectation. Closing square bracket. Imagine that other people have the opportunity to awaken conquerors after going through a life and death battle, but I just drank a bottle of medicine and awakened. Closing square bracket. Tisk tisk, if Hancock, Yamato and the others knew, I don't know how it would feel. Closing square bracket. Photo, trying conquerors for the first time, stunning passers-by. Closing square bracket. Is it really Conqueror's Haki? Awakening by drinking medicine. Hancock stood up from his seat, unconsciously biting his thumb. Although Rosen mentioned her name, she no longer cared about getting a little points for herself. Her mind is full of comparisons between her awakening conquerors and Rosen's awakening conquerors. The navigation log system is so powerful. After a long time, Hancock let out a long sigh of admiration. On the other hand, another person named by Rosen, Yamato, was also quite shocked. It's amazing, drinking a bottle of medicine can actually awaken the conquerors. If the bastard dad knew it, he would be quite surprised. However, what is even more powerful is Rosen's ability to know the past and the future. I don't know if I will defeat the bastard dad in the future. Yamato was wearing a chain in his hands, looking at the copy of the diary in front of him with bright eyes. Sure, as long as Rosen mentions my name a few more times, I will definitely be able to become strong enough to defeat the bastard dad. Please, Rosen, mention me more in your diary. Yamato clasped his hands together and prayed. At the same time, Gion, Hina, Charlotte Smoothie and others also fell silent after seeing the photo of Rosen stun the public with conquerors. After a long time, everyone couldn't help sighing. Gion, awakening conquerors is really a simple thing, haha. Hina, conquerors hockey, this man will become more and more dangerous in the future. Runty, if I drink this bottle of conquerors awakening potion, I should be able to awaken conquerors too. Charlotte Smoothie, hee, what an interesting man. If you want to get married, Rosen is a good candidate. Jewelry Bonnie, this guy, the way to gain power is too easy. Damn, why didn't this guy mention my name once? I want to try the points too. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Rossi Magnetic Town. Sure enough, it's Rosen's power. Great, it is indeed right to come here. Wait, I'll be right over. Yuta looked at the copy of the diary with joy, then ran out of the tavern and searched around the street. Meanwhile, diary duplication is still going on. Primary Conqueror's Hockey Awakening Potion is indeed a nice bonus, but it's not enough. Closing square bracket. If you want to use it flexibly, you still need to awaken a higher level conquerors. Closing square bracket. If it's just a primary, if you encounter an enemy that won't be affected by conquerors, its effect may not be as good as armament hockey. Closing square bracket. Sure enough, I still continue to save the points so that I can win higher level conquerors hockey related rewards. Closing square bracket. I even disliked conquerors hockey, and said that conquerors at this stage is not as good as armed color. Really, a man who makes people don't know what to say. Gion shook his head and sighed. She felt that if Rosen's words were heard by those who wanted to get conquerors but couldn't awaken, they would probably want to beat Rosen up. At least, she wanted to punch Rosen badly right now. In addition to the primary conqueror's hockey awakening potion, another reward is this, Lancer Servant Elizabeth Báthory primary body. Closing square bracket. Another template for a character. Fortunately, it's just the primary body. Gion noticed the word, primary, and immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Having said that, Gion's expression immediately became serious again when he thought that even the primary character template might give the user a powerful talent. It's no wonder, if the user just got the talent of the character template, it might not be a big deal. Users who happen to obtain character templates are also very likely to obtain points through Rosen. This leads to them being able to quickly become stronger by using points in conjunction with the talent of the character template. As long as Gion thinks that Karina may grow to the level shown in Ye Miko's skill demonstration video through Ye Miko's template and a large number of points, his forehead will ache. Hopefully, this Elizabeth Báthory will not be too troublesome. Best, Rosen can't use the power of this template. After Gion's voice fell, there was a demonstration video about Elizabeth Báthory on the copy of the diary immediately. Video, partial skill demonstration by Elizabeth Báthory. Closing square bracket. Chapter 38 Shocking singing voice, the power Nami wants to have, seeking data. With the appearance of the video screen on the copy of the diary, the girls who were watching the copy of the diary immediately clicked on the video. Soon, a petite and cute little girl with long magenta hair and stylish clothes appeared in the center of the pentagram magic circle on the video screen. Huh, so cute, and with a microphone. Is she also a singer? Yuta blinked and muttered curiously. Master, do you want to listen to my singing? Yes, for your sake, I can't sing for you now. Elizabeth Báthory twirled the spear like a microphone in her hand and said with a light smile. Closing square bracket. The treasure is unfolding. Let you listen to the most popular song in this follower world. As Elizabeth Báthory's voice falls, a huge castle appears behind Elizabeth Báthory. Closing square bracket. Subsequently, Elizabeth Báthory jumped onto the castle, with a very confident smile once again drawn on the corner of her mouth. Closing square bracket. Appreciate my treasure, blood demon lady. Ah. Closing square bracket. The terrifying song was amplified by the prison city, and it turned into a shock wave and scattered towards the front of the prison city. Closing square bracket. In just an instant, the puppets in front of the prison city were reduced to ashes by the shock wave. Closing square bracket. Not only that, even the birds, beasts, and even flying dragons that are not directly in front of the prison city, but are in the air, suddenly fell into a coma under Elizabeth's singing, and their bodies fell to the ground with a terrible warning. Closing square bracket. Boom. The people who were watching the video demonstration of the skills only felt a thunderous song ringing in their ears. This singing voice spreads through the ears to all limbs and skeletons with an overwhelming gesture. Even people as strong as Vince Moke Reiju, Empress Hancock, Charlotte Smoothie and others frowned suddenly, and subconsciously reached out and turned off the skill demonstration. The same is true of Hancock, Charlotte Smoothie and others. Not to mention Nami, Yuta, Kaya et al. Nami, what kind of weird sound is this? Is this going to kill people with sound? Yuta, woo, my ears are going to be deaf, how can there be such a singing voice? Karina, no way, this is an idol. What kind of idol can sing such a song? Kaya, that's good, it's amazing. Even just listening to the sound made me feel dizzy. Yamato, it's terrible. Is this the brand new template that Rosen has obtained? I don't know if such a singing voice can defeat that old man. After the girls calmed down the sudden rapid heartbeat, they resisted the palpitations and opened the copy of their diary again. Sure enough, the singing voice of Xiaolong Niang Elizabeth is quite scary. Closing square bracket. It's no wonder that Elizabeth's dragon breath itself has the ability of ultrasound. Closing square bracket. And the treasured blood demon mother can release the magic spear held by Elizabeth and summon the prison city Chadas hidden in the magic gun. Closing square bracket. The released prison city of Chadas will become a loudspeaker device. Closing square bracket. Elizabeth's dragon's breath power is extraordinary, and it is simply a big killer when combined with the prison city of Chadas. Closing square bracket. It's fine if Elizabeth's singing voice is good, but her singing voice is completely noise level. Closing square bracket. Noise plus ultra-large ultrasonic waves, combined with the amplification equipment in the prison city of Chadas, I don't know if anyone can insist on listening to Elizabeth's song. Closing square bracket. Speaking of which, Xiaolongyang Elizabeth is really confident, she can still call herself an idol after singing at this level. Closing square bracket. So did Nero, the emperor who sang on the same level. Closing square bracket. Could it be said that people in Xingyu world are like this? The worse they sing, the more confident they are in their hearts. Closing square bracket. Yuta, Nami, Nuo Chigao and others looked at the contents of the diary, and the corners of their mouths couldn't help but twitched for a while. Like Rosen at this time, they all felt Elizabeth's confidence. Yuta, what, compared to this Elizabeth, I'm the real idol. Nuo Chigao, such singing is enough to defeat the dragon pirates. Hina doesn't want to hear such an idol sing. Gion, if someone inherits Elizabeth's template, I don't know if they will inherit her terrible singing voice. To use the template of Lancer Elizabeth, the user needs to have attributes such as female, dragon, lancer, idol, singing, and nobility. Closing square bracket. I have no faith with this template. Although Karina can fit Elizabeth's template, she already has the power of Ye Kamiko. Closing square bracket. Sure enough, I still have to find another person to inherit the power of Lancer Elizabeth. Closing square bracket. Choose me, choose me. Nami couldn't help shouting. Although Elizabeth's singing made her feel quite uncomfortable before. But the destructive power of Elizabeth's singing, she also clearly saw through the skill demonstration video. In her opinion, if Elizabeth's power can be obtained, what kind of evil dragon pirate group is not a problem at all? Chapter 39 Exposing the Horror of Gurgur Fruit, the surprise brought by the new 4 emperors seeking. At this time, Nami wished to fly directly to Rosen Township, in front of Rosen. Then take Rosen's arm and ask him for the template of Lancer Elizabeth. However, she is not a tyrant bear after all, and she has no ability to fly to Rosen immediately. And Rosen, after all, couldn't hear what she said. Therefore, Rosen has no way to leave the template of Lancer Elizabeth to her. Speaking of which, wouldn't it be better if a real singer could use Elizabeth's template? Closing square bracket. No, Elizabeth's poor singing also adds to her strength. Closing square bracket. If a person who sings too well is allowed to use Elizabeth's template, wouldn't there be no way to perfectly display the power of the noble phantasm, Blood Bride? Closing square bracket. Without the singing at the noise level, only the ultrasonic wave can damage the enemy. Closing square bracket. The girls felt ashamed when they saw Rosen's message. It was also fortunate that Elizabeth was not by Rosen's side at the moment. Otherwise, maybe she would hold Rosen's hand and sing to Rosen for a day and a night. Wait, can't say that absolutely. Closing square bracket. If it is Yuta, maybe even if he loses the attribute of poor singing, he can still perfectly display the power of Elizabeth the Lancer. Closing square bracket. After all, she is the ability user of the song fruit. Closing square bracket. Red-haired Shank's daughter, Gion frowned, singing fruit. Did she destroy the music capital with the power of this fruit? Although Gion still doesn't know the specific ability of the song fruit. But thinking of Rosen once said that Yuta had destroyed the capital of music with this fruit, and thinking of the damage that Yuta may cause after inheriting Elizabeth's power, her whole body became serious. Similarly, those who knew about the existence of Yuta because of Rosen's diary all looked at the diary with a serious expression. Likewise, Yuta, who is prowling the streets looking for Rosen. Hey, does Rosen want me to use Elizabeth's power? It seems, it's pretty good. Elizabeth seems to have a very strong lung capacity. If I have such a strong lung capacity, singing will become easier. And since the amplifier summoned by that magic gun can amplify noise, it must also be able to amplify my singing voice. Yuta rested his chin on one hand and muttered to himself. At the moment, Yuta doesn't know yet. Even if she sings beautifully. But if it is sung under the venue of Blood Bride, the beautiful singing voice will also turn into powerful ultrasonic waves to crush the enemies in front of it. Of course, compared with the original Blood Bride used by Elizabeth, the Blood Bride used by Yuta may allow the enemy to be destroyed by ultrasonic waves while immersed in the beautiful song. Singing fruit has the ability to pull the soul of the person who hears the singing of the capable person into the virtual music world. Closing square bracket. And the body of the person whose soul is pulled into the virtual music world will fall into a coma and be controlled by the song fruit ability user. Closing square bracket. This ability is undoubtedly powerful. Closing square bracket. The future Yuta used this ability to pull many powerful marines and pirates into the virtual music world. Closing square bracket. There are even 2 great pirates with a bounty of 3 billion berry, and one of them is the new 4 emperors. Closing square bracket. Not only that, 80% of the people around the world are also pulled into the virtual music world because of listening to Yuta's concert. Closing square bracket. This singing fruit, if used well, can completely destroy the world. Closing square bracket. Yuta was not so surprised when he saw the contents of Rosen's diary. After all, she once used her singing to pull red-haired Shanks into the virtual music world. Of course, she was also surprised. Will 80% of the world's people listen to my concert? Sure enough, the future me has realized my dream and become a world-class idol. That's great. But, I became a world idol, why did I die? Yuta was still happy that he could become a world-class idol. But he thought that he would die soon. She became depressed again. Damn it, when I find you, I must ask you clearly. Yuta stomped and ran again, searching the streets for Rosen. However, she herself was not surprised, but the other girls who saw the contents of the diary were extremely surprised. Nico Robin, singing can actually pull people all over the world into the virtual space. If such a devil fruit is used properly, it can indeed destroy the world. Charlotte Smoothie, a little girl actually holds such a dangerous devil fruit. Mom should be very interested in her. Yamato, okay, it's amazing, much stronger than my devil fruit. Runty, what, as long as you don't listen to her singing, you'll be fine. Vivi, if I have such power, maybe I can directly deal with Barlock Works. Khalifa, the world government will never allow such power to exist. Stussy, interesting, I don't know if anyone in the world government has obtained a copy of the diary besides me. If there is someone, the above people may have a headache, haha. Question mark. Tashigi, Miss Ian, Colonel Hina, Gion Vice Admiral, is there really a devil fruit that can do this? Ian, I don't know either. Question mark. Hina was surprised, but since Rosen said it, there should be no deviation. Gion, it is indeed a terrifying power, but it is a good thing that we can know it here. As long as we are prepared, we can avoid being pulled into the virtual music space by the song fruit. Perhaps, even if one is drawn into it, there is a way to get out. Such a powerful devil fruit is definitely not without any restrictions. After Gion left a message in the exchange group, his brows did not ease. She looked at Rosen's description of the ability of the song fruit in the diary, and thought of the power possessed by Elizabeth, but her heart became more dignified. The fruit of singing, which is already troublesome, if it is combined with Elizabeth's power. Red-haired daughter, what kind of monster will you become? Rosen, if you invite her to be your partner. Perhaps the Marine and the world government are putting a lot of effort into hunting you down. Gion murmured. If Rosen heard about Gion, he would be surprised that people from Marine and world government knew about Yuta's ability. But definitely not afraid, even if he is not strong enough to be able to dominate the whole life. But as long as he is given enough time, Rosen will not take Marine or world government seriously. Wait, Rosen mentioned that, new 4 emperors, earlier. Suddenly, Gion seemed to think of something, and read aloud in surprise. Chapter 40 Yuta will die in the concert. Potential trouble for Yuta joining Rosen. Seeking data. Gion, Rosen said that Yuta will die at the age of 21, which means that there will be a new 4 emperors soon. Who will it be? Charlotte Smoothie. The new 4 emperors, I don't know who will fall. Black Maria. Yuta is the daughter of Redhead, and Yuta will die in the future. Could it be that Redhead was implicated by Yuta's death, thus losing the position of 4 emperors? Whitey Bay. It seems that the world will change a lot in the near future. I hope Dad will not be implicated by this. Yamato. It must be that Daddy lost the position of 4 emperors, it must be, Rosen. At this moment, all the girls began to fall into speculation because of the big news that Rosen inadvertently revealed. Especially those women who are themselves in the 4 Emperors level pirate group and the marine ladies who are opposed to the pirates. At this moment, everyone was eager to come to Rosen's side, put a knife on Rosen's neck, and let him speak clearly. Of course, they just thought about it that way. If they really meet Rosen, most of them will have to think of some way to let Rosen help them gain points so that they can quickly become stronger. It would be great if you could get a character template of someone strong from Rosen. Speaking of which, it was this concert that was broadcast live to the world that brought Yuta to his death in the end. Closing square bracket. I'm going to die at the concert. Why? Yuta stopped abruptly, eyes widened in horror. It's no wonder, after all, she is just a little girl who has just grown up. She also has fear in the face of death. When others saw Rosen's message, they had some guesses. Let 80% of the people in the world enter the virtual music world through singing. World government will never allow such a thing. Perhaps, the world government intervened and let Yuta die during the concert. Khalifa, it's normal to use devil fruit's abilities indiscriminately. It's normal for the world government not to interfere. Stussy, so the redhead Shanks is losing the four emperors' position because of the world government shot. Gion, if the world government interferes, there should be Marine among them. Speaking of this, I'm so angry, it's all about that guy with the red hair Shanks. Closing square bracket. I thought that I would be fine if I took all the affairs of the music capital on my shoulders. Closing square bracket. But he didn't know that this finally led Yuta to use the fruit of songs and his own singing to pull everyone in the world into the virtual music world in order to usher in a new era. Closing square bracket. Yuta is also kind. She knows that many fans have lost their homes and families because of pirates, so she wants to create a new era without disputes and pirates. Closing square bracket. She even went so far as to use the sleepless mushroom for this purpose. Closing square bracket. In this way, as long as they die without sleep, those who were first pulled into the virtual music world will stay in the virtual music world forever. Closing square bracket. Sleepless mushroom. This Yuta actually wants to create a world without pirates. Gion opened his eyes wide and couldn't help sighing. She thought Yuta was going to destroy the world. It turned out that Yuta wanted to create a peaceful world. Although the method is a bit wrong, Gion has changed his mind about Yuta. Even if you sacrifice yourself, you will usher in a peaceful world. Although she is the daughter of red-haired Shanks, she is a very kind girl. Gion sighed and said, "Of course, there are not many people who have such an idea like Gion. Most diary copy holders are dismissive upon learning of Yuta's purpose. After all, they don't want to live in a virtual world. That's not okay, the virtual world doesn't make much sense. However, this Yuta will die. Could it be that the goal has been achieved? Did the 80% of the people who entered the virtual world stay in that world permanently?" Thinking of this, Charlotte's smoothie couldn't help frowning. At the same time, her heart was full of wariness and hostility towards this so-called red-haired daughter. Likewise, there are plenty of people out there who share the same vision as Charlotte Tesmoji. Even, in addition to Gion and other Marines, there are already people from other forces who want to find Yuta and control Yuta. Of course, they also understand. It is not easy to control Yuta. That could be blocked by Rosen. After all, Rosen seems to have plans to make Yuta a partner. In addition, they may also face the red-hair pirate's sniper. Neither Rosen nor the red-hair pirates are easy to deal with. One, who knows the past and the future, and has a mysterious way to become stronger. The other is the powerful strength to dominate the New World Sea area. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.